What is up, guys? Welcome to the First Crypto Channel, the most savage and degenerate crypto channel out there. My name's Khaos Kris, and I'll be your host today. Before I wrap this video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so I keep you guys up to date with the latest, greatest news and information within the space. That being said, let's hop right into this video and/or investigation. As you guys know, there's a mystery on the Pulsechain, and we got one detective on that mystery. I'm not talking about Sherlock Holmes. I'm talking about Sherlock Kris, baby. I'm coming back in here. We have an investigation. Something's going on with pDAI. There's a mysterious token called Atropa, and there's a lot going on. If you guys haven't seen my last live stream, I went straight into the investigation, and in this live stream, I got a few updates, and then we're going to hop into the meat and the cheese of some crazy connections that I've been researching all night. And let me tell you guys, right now, as most of you guys know, the markets aren't doing so well. Interest rates are going up, but for some reason, PARC20 token copies are going absolutely bananas. Pulsechain community's in shock. Nobody knows what's going on. We got a small degen research group basically on it right now. And I am so excited to cover it. As most of you guys know, I got my John Lennon glasses. I'm looking like rags to riches back in 2020, except on the John Lennon version. Just kidding. Shout out to Rags to Riches, man. Really great guy. So, cool. All right, so let's get these off. Man, I can't stand glasses. So, let's get into the main meat and the cheese, what we need to look at. All right, so let's take a look at the markets right now. So, overall, the markets, holy cow. Yeah, it's even getting even worse right now. So, right now, it's sitting at about 26,410. And overall, one second, guys. I need to turn off my phone. So, it's sitting at about 26,444. And this is partially due to the interest rates. Now, basically, what's happening is everyone's doing a massive sell-off. And the biggest fear is there's going to be a market collapse. And so, as we start to see the price of Bitcoin go down, everything's going to go down. Bitcoin is the largest tide across the entire sea. A lot of these altcoins are going to be in liquidity pairs, liquidity pools, and usually they have the wrap version bridged over. So I suspect there's going to be a lot of blood and trauma. I thought we are going to have a little bit of an uptrend kind of going towards in the summer and then a downtrend, but this is the downtrend that's probably going to happen, and I'm not sure where we're going to rebound. Some people think 25K, some people think it's 26K. But overall, I drew a little support line. I'm still trying to learn how to use this stuff. But ultimately, since it broke that support line, there's a 100% chance that we're going to go down and have to reclaim a level. So definitely a really great buying opportunity, not financial advice. Now, crypto bubbles. Checking it out. There is blood in the streets. Everything's in the red, especially, oh man, dude, Shiba Inu. I don't know if you guys heard about this token, but Shiba was launched, and then they had a bridge. There's a bridge hack. A lot of Ethereum was stolen. Now, Shiba Inu is absolutely getting slaughtered and priced out of all these tokens. Well, it's not really that bad. But ultimately, everything's in the red. I don't see much green going on here. Looks like EHEX has just been trading sideways since this market trauma. That's actually really surprising, but really, really awesome. Now, let's move into the top 200. Let's see if anything's moving up. Yeah, mostly red. Plus, I don't know most of these tokens. So, Bone Shiba Swap is the gas token on Shibarum, and it's expected for that to come down after that big news. So definitely really great stuff. So cool. Now, let's move over to the Pulsechain ecosystem. We need to do a little quick price analysis, see the blood in the street, see the trauma, see what's going on, or maybe it's doing well. I don't know. So let's take a look. Starting off with Pulse. So overall, let's get a little bit of loading going here. Hopefully it goes a little bit faster. If not, I'm just going to keep moving. Come on, baby. Pull it up. All right. So, overall, Pulse is actually pretty stable since the market news. I mean, it's been trading sideways for a minute now. Let's check out the 4-hour hourly. Yeah, so right here we have the SEC dip, and then let me move this up. Let's see if I can move this up a little bit. Yeah, so over here we have the SEC dip, and then for the most part, it's been trading sideways, and then we had this bottom call right here doing pretty well. I mean, if it starts to go down a little bit, we might get down past his bottom, but honestly, I think that's a good bottom call, whoever called it right here. So looking really, really good. Overall, looking at the PulseX supply, we have about 0.253% burnt. Instead of tokens being burnt by TYRH. Shout out to the TYRH community, guys. You guys are absolutely killing it. That token only goes up and to the right. I'm so excited to see their layer 4 version getting launched, and I'm excited to cover it here on the Verse Crypto channel. So, starting off, let's make sure we don't have any comments or questions, and then we will get into the main investigation, which pretty much all you guys are probably here to check out. So let's take a look. So, ready for some new stuff? Absolutely. Thank you. Let's go. Vibrifying. A shout out to Adam Lindsay. Awesome. Damien's in the chat. What's up, brother? It's always a good live stream when the homie Damien is in the chat. Let's freaking go, baby. The boss man, the investigation needs to be closed out. I agree. Hopefully we get a conclusion to the story. Paul, shout out to Paul. Awesome. The boss man, do you think Shibarum or Shiba are good plays? To be honest with you, with the news of that bridge hack, there's going to be some blood in the streets, but ultimately, if it's oversold, then there's a good chance that we might see a really good buying opportunity out of that. So I would never say never. I'm not a big fan of the Shiba ecosystem. I do have a little small bag on a cold storage wallet, but ultimately, you know, I'm not really sure. I don't know too much about it, but I will say one thing: when it comes to bridge hacks, those are probably one of the biggest things that are very difficult to recover from, and that's part of the reason why Pulsechain took so long to be launched, because I guarantee you the development team was really focused on that bridge. And then Adam thinks SHIB is done for, so I don't know. We'll see the prediction, but like I said, those type of news events could pop, not financial advice, could potentially be good buying events, because you never know what's going to happen. So really great stuff. All right, so let's get into the main investigation of what is going on in this murder mystery. So you guys saw my last live stream. What's going on is we have a pDAI conspiracy theory. Started off by the supreme commander of the pDAI token, my boy Hodlnomics. He's probably in the chat. Shout out to Hodlnomics. But basically, Hodlnomics, along with a bunch of other developers, excuse me, and researchers, got together and started looking at PRC20 token copies. Once they started doing research, they found some weird anomalies behind the DAI token. Once they started investigating these anomalies behind the DAI token, they found out that the MakerDAO Pulsechain copy contract was actually accessed before the Pulsechain launch. In addition, they also found that there's a new token called Atropa that was launched. The token has not been verified. There's no website for the token. Nothing's going on. The only thing that we're seeing behind the Atropa token is it has the 100 and million. It's like 111 across, but it's like in the millions. And essentially all it's doing is it's buying up the DAI token, pairing it up, and burning it. And then also on top of that, there's some separate buy and burns on top of that. So there's so much mystery going on. And it started off as a conspiracy theory, but the more facts we get into, the bigger this thing got. So just coming down here, doing a little screen share. I don't really want to get into the pegging theory because I did a great live stream on the last one, but I'm doing this as a quick recap so we can put on our thinking caps and say, okay, where are we starting, Kris, and where are we going from there? So coming down here, Hodlnomics had this really great post. Everybody should read it. It talks about the MakerDAO contract. It talks about the connections between Richard Hart. And then ultimately, it talks about what needs to happen to bring pDAI to PEG. One thing that I see a lot on Twitter that I really want to address right now is everyone's saying, well, how is pDAI going to maintain PEG? How is pDAI going to maintain PEG? And so out of this whole murder mystery, and if you're into it or if you're not into it, you know, none of this is financial advice. This is me just covering what's going on. Essentially, when the PEG starts coming in, this is the speculation. This is the leap. This is where people think that once we start to get a community around pDAI, basically there's going to be some collateral provided to the pDAI ecosystem on Pulsechain. And then on top of that, PulseX liquidity pools will be opened up to pair up DAI with other tokens. Now, will that happen? I don't know. This is a speculative move. This is a speculative asset. But after we go through and investigate this whole thing and we look at the price charts, you're going to be asking yourself, what is going on? Because the one thing I will say before we jump into the updated news behind the pDAI theory, if you look at pDAI and you look at the rest of the market, pDAI is exploding. Wrap Bitcoin is exploding. Atropa is exploding. All these tokens have been exploding while there's blood in the streets and all the other tokens are declining. And this is part of the biggest murder mystery ever. So starting off, let's get into some updated stuff. And there's a whole list that I need to cover real quick. So basically what happened was Whale Rebirth put out this tweet, and I had all this stuff written down, but since it's on this tweet, I'm just going to go through everything. So right now, the first thing, you can't buy Atropa without pDAI. So basically, we know that Atropa is like functioning as kind of like a layer 2 to pDAI. It's controlling the supply of pDAI that's in circulation on top of burning it. And so basically, it's like this weird decentralized bond that's affecting the supply and the price, and basically essentially what's pushing up the price. And essentially, in order for you to get Atropa, you need pDAI. There's not enough liquidity between Atropa, Pulse, PulseX, or Hex, and so that's why you have to go through it. And so this kind of sparks the idea, is this a payment processor? Because in order to get to Atropa, you have to go through the most liquidity pool and such. If someone were to set up a liquidity pool, there's a good chance there's going to be a lot of sales from Wrap Pulse to Atropa. Now, next thing, you can't buy down without Atropa. And so we're going to get into the down, the Atropa token, all of this. And this will make sense in a minute, but I want to get into the other stuff. So, jumping in, is Atropa a reserve system for the ecosystem? So basically what I was saying earlier, is Atropa essentially controlling the supply of pDAI? Now, if you think about it, MakerDAO has a protocol using the Maker token and also using others, software functions to essentially maintain the DAI peg to $1. And so that's essentially the reserve system. The best way to think of the MakerDAO token is very similar to what we do in the traditional finance system, except it's decentralized and you don't have a shady government printing money out thin air. And so that is the big question. Is this Atropa that paired up with DAI? Is there a reserve system for this ecosystem? Is this the start of a payment system? That's the biggest question. So, Atropa was being bought and traded by Mystery Wallet before the bridge was open. So, I got some more information on that Mystery Wallet that I'm going to talk to. And shout out to Dipcatcher. He actually just put out some alpha right before the live stream. I was reading this. I almost had this live stream late because I was just going down wormholes. But essentially, covering what happened with Atropa and this blockchain, basically, Pulsechain launched and had the main bridge between Ethereum and Pulsechain that was set up by Richard Hart and the devs. Now, there's a mysterious mixer/privacy bridge that not many people knew about, but actually, I found out about 3 weeks after launch. And this mysterious bridge was actually pushed by a company called BlockBin. And essentially, what BlockBin was doing was they set up this bridge, and then also Beatroots, which is another altcoin, actually uses access to this bridge from Ethereum to Pulsechain, and apparently they're also setting up bridges from the Pulsechain to like Phantom, Avalanche, and whatnot. So that's actually a really big part of the mystery, and the fact that not many people knew about makes this thing absolutely really, really interesting. So Atropa is most likely the reason pDAI will move considering the pairing. Now, this is the big thing that a lot of people miss out on. Atropa, it's basically part of the mysterious wallet, and basically the value of the Atropa token is liquidity coming from this mysterious wallet into Atropa, pairing up with the DAI token, being sent to a burn wallet, and all this money getting funneled in is essentially getting burnt. And that is part of that's the biggest question mark. Why is someone burning millions and millions of dollars? And if you don't believe me, just look at the price. DAI's going up, Atropa's going up, all these other tokens tied to this murder mystery are going up. Bitcoin's down, Ethereum's down, Pulsechain's down, every single token is down. So awesome. So now, Down and Atropa could possibly be telling users to own the token. pDAI reaches stability with its pair. Now, the idea is you have the Down and the Atropa token, and somehow the Down and Atropa token are going to function similar to kind of like bonds, about removing and adding probably pDAI to the ecosystem. It's what's being speculated about this. And so, if we have a payment processor and pDAI is supposedly going to be a stable coin, well, there's got to be some sort of infrastructure in place to control the supply, and there's a good chance that Down and Atropa could be that token. Keep in mind, I'm not a software developer or whatnot. I'm just making connections. I'm an investigator. I'm Sherlock Kris, and I'm also the Zen Classic Supreme Commander. Those are my only titles. And yeah, so moving on the PulseX website, when the contract is added by the user, the title DAI stablecoin appears. Now, this is the biggest thing that really made me think. If you go on PulseX right now, and yeah, let's see if I can just go on it. Oh, hold on. let's see if I just go on it right now. Hold on. Oh, nope. I'll put this tab. Sorry, guys. I got a bunch of tabs. So let's go on PulseX exchange and see what this point is talking about. Now, you might be scratching your heads and say, all right, why is this such a big deal? So if I come over to PulseX and I pull up, hold on, like DAI, it's right here. It's already preloaded into the select token. If I pull up Uniswap, oh, wow, Uniswap's not preloaded in here. How about the Chainlink copy? Oh, Chainlink's not doing it. Wait, what about USDT? USDT from Ethereum, not the copy, or USDC. For some reason, pDAI is preloaded in the PulseX exchange. Why aren't the other PRC20 tokens already preloaded? This means a developer came in, added this function, made it much more easier to access for users so that they don't have to go on Dex Screener, copy the contract, or copy a faulty contract. That's a big thing, and that's a big question mark. Why isn't it any other token? Why? What about the Texan token? Is that preloaded? No, the Texan token isn't even preloaded as well. Shout out to the Texan token and Rags to Riches. So you guys get the point, so I'm going to keep it moving. Now, moving on. Where did I leave off? So one of the first PRC20s with a logo. So I don't know if I can really verify that, but supposedly in that PulseX preloading, the logo with pDAI was already preloaded and already had a logo in there. So I can't confirm it. I'm not sure how to check that out. I'm not that smart, but I'll let you guys figure out. So the marketing and volume that would come from reaching stability so early on in comparison to ETH. So I think what this is talking about is this is like a huge marketing move if this were to come to fruition. So I'm not going to really get too much into speculation. Now, next one, RH possibly working with XRP dev and their bot tech behind the scenes. Now, this is a very interesting one. I was looking at the group chat for this, and so supposedly XRP has a lot of bots being in place through their the XRP ledger. And keep in mind, I'm not an expert in XRP. I don't know too much about it. I do hold a bag for full disclosure, but ultimately they have some sort of bot technology that's going to be used for the XRP token. And so how the XRP token works is what they're trying to do is make it so that you can exchange from the dollar to the ruble, and the center of exchange is going to be the XRP token, where you swap to the XRP token into the ruble, and you can do it for, it takes like 5 seconds. Now, the biggest problem with the financial system is if I were to send some money to someone in Kazakhstan, basically what I would have to do is, actually, let me back up. If I were to send money, say the Mexican peso, to Kazakhstan and to the Kazakhstan currency, what I would have to do is take the Mexican peso, convert it to US dollars, and then from the US dollars convert it straight to the Kazakhstan native currency. I don't know what it is, somebody Google search it, but ultimately this process is extremely slow. And so what XRP is doing is they're automating this process, and they're using these bots that are going to help function with transactions to make it much more faster, much more easier, and also to help out the banking system evolve into the new digital economy. That's the idea. So next thing, large amounts of suspicious buying bots. So basically what's going on is there's buy bots. And this is one big thing that I want to point out. If you go look at the orders on DAI, you can see lots of transactions. If there's a big buy, then there's a bunch of sell-offs right after. So there's so many bots behind this wallet address. And the software and the sophistication behind these bots are unparalleled based on the conversations I've had with people. So now, aggressive buying power blowing past 0.01. So this is more of a speculative claim, so we're not really going to get into that. But supposedly there might be a huge push at 1 penny going up to $1. I can't verify that, but that is speculation. Stablecoins are the initial foundation of a successful ecosystem with the least trust required. Now, this is a big thing I want to get across. Stablecoins. Stablecoins are the backbone of cryptocurrency. I get it. You know, there's Hex, there's Pulsechain, there's Bitcoin. But the one thing you got to understand is there's always going to be turbulent times. And Richard Heart always said that one of the biggest downsides for the world's best performing assets is the volatility. And the thing about stablecoins is this allows people to protect their value from these volatile times. In addition, it also cuts out the banks, because when it comes to taking profit, people take their cryptocurrency, send it, convert it over to USD, and then try to get to the banks, and then the banking system is very dysfunctional. Now, the one big thing with the Richard ecosystem that's missing, it's a stablecoin. I get it. There's projects launching left and right. There's a stablecoin protocol with liquid loans. There's a stablecoin protocol with Coast. But Richard Hart's not going to give it his stamp of approval because it has to be a Richard Hart product. That's the thing. And so essentially, by definition, pDAI is a Richard Hart product. So that's what that's saying. All right, let's just keep it moving. Now, next one. Possible RH lawyers advised him to make a tweet about open source software around the same time pDAI minting issue was fixed. Not cheap. So basically, there was a talk about, really good software takes a lot of time. And if you look at Richard's Twitter, it seems like he's leaving breadcrumbs talking about this stuff. And there's a huge argument saying that when he was talking about this, he was basically making a message to the pDAI community, the Pulsechain community about pDAI. Whether you believe or not, I'm not sure. Go check out his Twitter and look at it. Now, big one. Richard Hart owns 250 million DAI on Ethereum. That is a fact. Richard Hart owns over 15% of the pDAI. I mean, not pDAI, excuse me, the DAI on Ethereum. Now, here's the thing to understand why that's important. Number one, Richard Hart likes DAI. It's his favorite stablecoin. He talks about it all the time. Number two, if this theory were to continue to evolve, we've heard of stuff happening in the past that essentially a bunch of people bought up the MakerDAO token, went in and changed the collateral pool so that you can no longer use, I believe, wrapped Ethereum to mint DAI. And also, in addition, we found evidence of a payment through Tornado Cash straight to the MakerDAO team, basically coming in and trying to fix the MakerDAO contract so that in the collateral pool, Pulsechain can be used as collateral, the Pulse tokens. So essentially, that's basically like the big thing when it comes to Richard Hart being a huge advocate behind DAI and the amount of connections going that way. So when Richard Hart was asked about the PRC20s in his response, I got something cool coming. So there's a video. I know you guys have seen it. He was arguing with a guy saying that, he created a $50 billion token. The guy was on top of it. And essentially, he's got something coming down the road. As to what it is, I'm not really sure. But ultimately, some people are speculating that this is the play. And so ultimately, that's the biggest thing. Now, Richard Hart constantly mentioned concerns about the dollar. Of course, we all have concerns about the dollar. Richard Hart would have mentioned pDAI as a scam already and didn't. So this is my big thing. And so this is my big take. So here's my biggest problem with not really the biggest problem, but here's my thing with the pDAI conspiracy theory. I have asked this question over and over and over again. And my biggest question is, if this thing was so malicious, if this thing had the potential to do so much harm to Pulsechain, why hasn't Richard Hart said anything about it? He's done it with BlockFi. He's done it with any other cryptocurrency project. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, he's in a lawsuit, yada, yada, yada. The SEC is coming after him, obviously. But here's the thing. If Pulsechain and PulseX collapses and he's fighting a lawsuit against SEC, you know how bad that's going to look? You know what the mainstream media is going to do if you see the price literally just collapse like that? They're going to go after him. They're going to vilify him. And it's going to be more ammunition in the SEC case if this happens. And so what I'm saying is, if you look at the cost to benefit ratio of him addressing this, it is more beneficial for him to say something. Because if this thing collapses, it is going to look extremely bad, especially with the current legal times behind the entire Richard Hart ecosystem. And also, I just want to make something clear. I'm on Team Richard's side. I do not support the SEC. I think they're attacking him. They're attacking the little guy. It's not fair, and I hope he beats this in court. That's just my opinion. So keep it moving, baby. All right. So now, going on, suspicious burning of pDAI. So the other thing we're seeing is a lot of these wallets are actually burning pDAI, removing the circulation. The question is, you need $20 billion of collateral to essentially back the pDAI stablecoin. Yes, you are very true. But here's the thing. A lot of pDAI is being burnt right now. So the amount of collateral you need to put up is going to be extremely small. Next thing, possible mixer. Already covered that. There's a privacy bridge. And then the next big thing, the top 5 holders have LP set up. So the top 5 holders of the DAI token, if you go look on OtterScan or the Pulsechain or whatever, they're basically set up in a liquidity pair, adding liquidity to PulseX so that people can swap in and out. Now moving down, you probably can't see the rest of this. Here, let me do this. Okay. Hopefully I can just go in. All right, no, this ain't working. So, okay, so the next one, over 1 million liquidity has already been burnt from that pairing. What do we have? Percentages, top 10 wallets likely to be project distribution. RH is an advocate for freedom to transact, insists of making an amendment protecting decentralized rights. Possible planned marketing of success of these projects, funneling attention to the ecosystem. And then B-Root's call, whatever. All right, so yeah. So basically, here's the point I'm trying to get across with this recap. I just went through a bunch of points and whatnot. Now, the main thing that I want to cover as a continuation of my last live stream, the Atropa down token. This is a big thing that everybody's been talking about. They've been asking about what is going on. And this is where the murder mystery gets extremely crazy. We've already shown that the LP pairs between Atropa and DAI have been burnt. We already saw that there might be intention behind Richard Heart. I'm not saying he hasn't come out and said anything, to use pDAI as Pulsechain's primary stablecoin. And there's a mysterious wallet pumping millions of dollars, burning it on the Pulsechain into a wallet. So this murder mystery is going crazy. I don't know what's going on. So moving on, let's just take a little look-a-rooski at the next thing. So there's this really cool tweet that Holonomics put out that Coach X Ford over. So there's a debt ceiling on pDAI, and it has been reached for all assets except for a few. This means that you cannot mint more pDAI with wrapped ETH anymore. And it goes on to say that you can do it with wrapped Bitcoin, but essentially it's not profitable. So the big thing I'm trying to get across is, on top of that, everyone's talking about inflation bug. The inflation bug has been fixed on the pDAI contract. In addition, you can't use wrapped Ethereum to mint any more pDAI through the MakerDAO contract. So essentially, the supply is being decreased. It's getting burnt. It's getting paired up in these liquidity pairs, and it's moving on forward. So now, before we get into the organizational structures and we start, connecting dots and stuff, I'm going to check out the chat and see what's crack-a-lacking. So now, going on, wow, we got a lot of comments here. Let's check it out. So, huge dump in progress. There's pDAI, PS, LPs on V1, V2. There is now, it seems as it what is routed. You dump some. What's up? Ryan Torres, shout out, dude. What's going on, man? Let's see. What up? Johnny May, how you doing? Try to find a macro cord for the ledger so I can do some swaps, but can't figure it out. Shout out Facing Reality. What's up, man? It's good to see you, brother. Always good. Damien, better not be SPF playing his games, looking to cause another Luna crash. Man, dude, Dave's got the funniest responses, man. Yeah, that's so true. If SPF is on this, man, we gotta do something about it, man. So, Johnny May, cool. Cody Cameron, I want to believe in this pDAI things, man, but I don't know, man. Yeah, honestly, Cody, this is all speculation. I just want to make this clear. I'm going through the investigation. I'm giving you guys a continuation of my last live stream, and ultimately, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know anything behind the origins of the Atropa address. We don't know anything about this wallet that's pumping in. We just have little breadcrumbs that we're following. So with these extreme speculated events, there's nothing wrong with just sitting on the sideline and not doing anything. If you're a degen, you want to hop in, I can't stop anyone from doing anything. But like I said, err on the side of caution always. That's my biggest thing. So KNTX, what are all you degens doing here? Should I have been here all along? Yeah, man. Degen on, baby. Let's go. Cool. Awesome. All right. So let's get into the main thing that you guys really want to look at. So the question is, how do all these tokens connect together? And believe it or not, I just saw this graph last night, and there's a huge infrastructure tying pDAI to Atropa, to Wrapped Pulse, to Wrapped Ethereum, to Doge, to Zen Crypto, the Zen Classic token, and then there's mysterious tokens with some really funny names. So I'm really excited to show you guys. So I'm gonna do a quick little screen share. Shout out to my boy Viber Finance, Adam. He posted this graph. So let's talk a little bit about how these tokens are tied together. Now, here's where the investigations start. Number one, pDAI. pDAI started going up, and that's when Hodlnomics and the team came in and started buying it up and started pushing the price up. On top of that, we saw it with PUSDC. Those start popping up, and so that triggered what's going on. And so what we're starting to see is about 37% of the Atropa, I think, is getting paired up with pDAI, and then it's getting burnt. Now, Atropa is kind of like the main brain of this whole entire ecosystem. So what Atropa is now doing is it's basically pairing up pDAI and burning it. It's pairing up with PUSDC, and then now it's creating liquidity pairs with Down, Doge, which is like a copy of the Ethereum version Doge, Wrapped Ethereum, Wrapped Pulse, and TSFI, and then Zen Crypto, which is kind of crazy. So basically, they're forming liquidity pairs. Now, the main one that I know is getting burnt is Atropa and pDAI. And if I recall, something's happening between TSFI and Atropa, and I think that liquidity pair might be getting burned. I'm not really sure. But essentially, Atropa is getting paired up with all these tokens. So in order to essentially go to TSFI, you have to buy the pDAI, go to the Atropa, and then from the Atropa, go to the TSFI. Now, within this little main infrastructure of this little web, we start getting out into the crazy parts, and this is where I'm getting really, really interested. So from the TSFI, it goes over to, I don't know if that's Korean or something, but it stands for I'm fat, with the same token supply. And then from there, it goes to treasury bills, and then it keeps going down, down, on and on. And then on this side, with the Down token being paired with the Atropa, there's another token called Legal, and then there's like the number 2, and then there's a bunch of tokens. And so from my understanding, with these web of tokens being connected, and how they're connected is through liquidity pairs. Basically, the tokens are just getting paired up together. And how I understand is this is only 10% of the web. There is a much more complex web going all the way across this entire ecosystem, and this is just we're touching the tip of the iceberg right now. So the one thing I want to say is, I know some of you guys are going to be degens, and you're going to be looking at the TSFI and the Atropa token and then the Down token. From my understanding, someone was telling me, and you see these red tokens, there is a sell all function within the contract address. And I want to make that aware to everybody. If you're getting into this token, there's a sell all token, and it's extremely sketchy. And so this is the part of this conspiracy theory I don't like, because this web of tokens, I don't know if there's if they're benevolent. I don't know if they're malicious. We don't know too much of it. And also keep in mind, the contract has not been renounced or verified. And so from my understanding, the contract's not verified, then we can't see the contract or whatnot. But I spoke to a few people saying that the Down token and then the TSFI token could have some sell all functions in them. So please tread carefully. Now, what we're also seeing is the Atropa token is essentially getting pumped with money. And once that gets pumped with money, Zen Classic is going, Wrapped Pulse is going up. Well, not really. There's a lot of buy and sell pressure. Wrapped Ethereum is going up a little bit. And then there's also a pairing between Wrapped Bitcoin and then the Doge tokens going up as well. And so if you connect the Doge token, there's 10.2% in LPs in the top wallet of the 32%. And then it just goes on and on and on forever. So you might be asking yourself, what is going on? Why is there so many weird symbols and tokens and connected? And the one thing I want to say is I have no idea. But the one thing I want to point out with the Atropa token is if you come over here and you search the sci-fi movie, which is actually pretty crazy, it talks about this alien sci-fi movie where there's travelers from the past, and basically they get stuck on a spaceship and they're out stranded on the spaceship forever for a very long time. And the TV show goes through, talks about their interactions, whatever, and then at the end of it, they all die. And so some people believe that the Atropa token has some connection to the sci-fi movie. Now, I went full on Sherlock Kris, and I started looking into the TSFI. So just stick with me. So if I come back over here, let's do a little bit of a screen share. So if you come back over here to the TSFI, so the Atropa token, some people think it's a poisonous plant. Some people think it has to do with the spaceship movie. And then you got the 1111 with the numerology. Now, with the TSFI, I did some research and some stuff I found out. TSFI stands for the Software Factory Incorporated. It's a Swiss corporation in Switzerland that actually does a lot of work with technology, blockchain service, or whatnot. And so some people think that there actually might be a connection to that. Now, the one thing I also found when I was looking up the Software Factory Incorporated, there's not much information, but I'm still investigating it. I might have found something. I came across something very, very interesting, and it talks something about software factory. And so software factory is defined as a facility or process that assembles, not codes, software applications to conform to specific specifications following a strict manufacturing methodology. By utilizing the fundamentals of industrial manufacturing, standardized components, specialized skill sets, parallel processes, and predictable and scalable level of quality, a true software factory can achieve a superior level of application assembly, even when assembling new or horizontal solutions. So just looking at that definition, I've seen this phrase a lot in my industry because I do work in STEM, and I see a lot of the DoD, Google work on software factories, and from my understanding, it has a little bit to do with making a extremely advanced software application. Now, for that definition, it was talking about manufacturing. But in my opinion, based on what we're seeing, the developers are saying that the software is extremely advanced. There's something to it that's different from everything else. And basically making that connection, I think it has something to do with the software factory and maybe this Swiss company that I'm going to continue to investigate. But I also want to put it out there to see if anyone can find any other information behind this, because I've been doing hours of research of trying to find that connection, and that's all I can come up with. In addition, also, TSFI could also mean something else. The Transaction Service Finance. Now, if we go back to this chart over here, and I do a quick screen share, we have Atropa right here. We have TSFI, the Transaction Service Finance, and then it all basically connects to pDAI. pDAI is like the main token within this entire web. And so what some people are speculating is that there's a connection between TSFI, Atropa, and down to the pDAI token. And basically, this is forming like a payment processor so that it can basically maintain a peg between the DAI token and $1 based off of the bots in TSFI, Atropa, and down. And so that's a really speculative comparison, but that's the closest we can come to figuring out what is going on. As to whether or not this is true or what's going on, I'm not really sure. Like I said, most of this is speculation, but it's pretty crazy how there's a connection between TSFI and the software factory and advanced software technologies that's actually getting involved with blockchain technology. So definitely really, really cool. So moving on. Let's get into some price analysis and let's talk about cool stuff. Actually, no, I want to do one more bit. Please, the one thing I want to say about those tokens, and I promise Holdonomics and the crew that will talk about this. When it comes to treading and getting into those ecosystems, those tokens, please tread carefully. If you're going to get into it, use another wallet address. We don't know anything about these tokens. There's no audit. There's no website. There's nothing behind them. There's nothing wrong with just sitting on the sidelines and just watching this mystery play out, but please be careful. I will make that 100% clear. So cool. All right, now moving on. What is going on with the price of DAI? So basically, kind of coming back from my live stream, I had a live stream. I think it was like right around here. It was like the 16th, so down here, and the price was climbing. Now, since the price has climbed, we've gotten up to 0.002. which is absolutely bananas across the board. And so if I take this price chart before we had this run up, let's do a 4-hour hourly coming here. Now, I'm going to bring this up to about right here, and then we're going to bring this down to right here. So from there, I think we basically hit a 169x off of that bottom, and then now we're seeing at about 121x since we started to have the pDAI explosion. Those numbers are absolutely astronomical, and it's crazy. Now, based on my research and what I've been looking at, if you look at this, you're seeing transactions coming in and out, and you can see that this is like the same wallet right here at the bottom that keeps popping up. These are the bots selling off. So every time there's a big buy, there's going to be a bunch of sells, bunch of sells, bunch of sells, bunch of sells. This is how pDAI is functioning right now. And so since we had such a huge run up, it's going to retrace, and then we're probably going to retest the 0.2 of a penny. And then there's a good chance we're going to start testing the penny level. Now, moving on to Atropa. Atropa, the mysterious token that everybody keeps talking about. It is actually basically following the price of pDAI. Now, if we look at the price chart, since this thing just started, and so I'm going to come down here. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Let's come down here. So I'm just going to do that at this level right here. Since this sucker started, it went up a 10x, and then now it's coming down to an 8x. This is pretty crazy. And B-Roots and the crew, they're hyping up right here. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And so now that we're coming back to this retracement level, the one thing I want to say is Atropa and pDAI are paired up into a liquidity pair together. They're going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. And so based off of this, there's a good chance that Atropa is going to follow the price of pDAI, and they're basically going to be tied together. So that's another big one. Now, moving on to the down token. This is another one paired up with Atropa. You guys can see the same price mechanics. Really, really crazy what is going on right now. So when I come up here and we hit that top, it hit about a 69x to the top, and now we're sitting at about a 54x from there, which is absolutely crazy. So this is another one. This is part of the outer rim, I would say, of the Atropa ecosystem. And then we're getting to the TSFI. The mysterious token that has recently just popped up. I don't know what's going on. Not really sure. But ultimately, let's just take a look-a-rooski and see what's up. So we hit a 17 about, yeah. So we'll say 32x from the top. And now we're sitting at about a 20x. So the reason why I'm showing you guys these price charts is because I'm telling you, someone's pumping money into Atropa, and it's also causing these other tokens to appreciate through those liquidity pairs. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's been verified. And this is part of the reason why pDAI keeps going up, is because there's an outside source of money coming in and pushing it up. So overall, the mystery of this token continues to go down rabbit holes, and the team is continuing to diving in and just taking a look, and it's really, really exciting times. So really cool. So before I get into the next section, we got to talk about some stuff that Dipcatcher was talking about. And this is going to be really, really big to the development of the story, but I want to go over some questions real quick. So let's see what's up. So, Johnny May, let's see, pDAI. Wasn't that chart made by PulseDAI? Okay. The chart made by PulseDAI. Nope, that is not the chart of PulseDAI. That is incorrect. That was not the chart made by PulseDAI. So, Crypto Compassion, hey, what's up? Nice to see you guys. Thank you for being in the live stream. So we don't got any really big questions. So cool. All right, now moving on to the next part of this. So this is where things get very, very interesting. And so Dipcatcher started researching the Atropa wallet, the infamous Atropa wallet, that you can go and take a look at it. Now, I want to do a quick screen share. So Dipcatcher put out a tweet saying the Atropa deployer is among the Maximus DAO ranks. Not only did they mint Maximus pool tokens in decent size, they were also buying Trio, Lucky, Decky, and Team on the exchange. This person obviously knows what is good. So based off of that, whoever's doing this has been interacting within the Pulsechain ecosystem. I'm not really sure who it is, but if you look at the wallet, there's other tokens that they also have owned as well. Now, continuing on, this is the big part that Dipcatcher was talking about as well, that was recently just announced. So I'm going to read this entire paragraph because this is important. The address who sent the first ETH to the Atropa deployer started buying Hex in February of 2020. And aside from a few short stakes, early in-staked at 5-day stake and experience appealing, he had been actually swapping in and out, and by January 21, they had sold all their Hex in this wallet. At one point, They had 42 million hex in this address, but in total, they only experienced 51K in realized gains trading hex. Nansen AI tagged the wallet with fitting name Cold Feet, suggesting they got cold feet when they bought a token and quickly swapped out of it. Cold Feet sent 900K hex to the wallet labeled 0xF74, labeled as hex heavy dex trader, which was selling at the height of the bull market. Another address and experienced over 250,000 of realized gains from hex. OXF S4 is in total ended up sending 45 hex to the Atropa ETH wallet, which is absolutely crazy. And so if you scroll down here and you just take a look at all the trades going on, you can verify everything that Debcatcher was talking about, and this is absolutely blowing my mind. Now, this is where the real question comes in. So whoever's behind the Atropa wallet, they're a Hexagon. They've been doing something since February of 2020. And if I recall, February 2020, that was kind of right around the time when Hex started building up. And basically they're swapping in and out, and then Hex was launched on, was it December 2nd of 2019? So this was like a year after all this started happening. And so from my understanding, there was this Atropa wallet, and then from my other understanding, they also sold a little bit more. I'm not sure if it was 30 million or maybe that's what it was. Yeah, so they sold 45 million hex and then have the $298,000 of realized gains. So they basically made a bunch of money off of selling hex at the top. Now, the real question is, this is just one part of the amount of money coming in. There's over been $1 million worth of crypto being burnt, being pumped through Atropa through the mysterious anonymous bridge. Now, there's probably other money coming from other wallets, and that's the real question. But what's really making this very difficult to track is based solely on the fact that we can't trace a majority of the money. This is just a little bit of a taste of what's coming in. And so that's why this makes this murder mystery absolutely awesome. So cool. Now, moving on. So this is another thing I also want to point out. Here's some trading alpha. Filter the transactions to only show sell orders larger than some value. Say, I think it was 1,000 for illiquid markets. Watch the address activity, see what's happening. What you can see is this Atropa whale who bought in with 15K has recently cashed out 24K, and it still has over 90K in unrealized gains. So basically what Debcatcher is saying is there's a lot of whales jumping into this right now. And so there's a huge spread behind this entire ecosystem. And ultimately you can already see this token about to go viral. Now the real question is, number one, will this token hit peg? And number two, will it blow up across the entire Pulsechain and Hex community? So I'm going to answer that at the end. I got a lot more to cover, and we're getting close to an hour. Now, the next thing I need to talk about, my boy Rags to Riches. He just had a Twitter space, and I was listening to it right before the stream. Really great guy, really great on his TA. So basically what Rags to Riches did was he came on and he said, asking questions. How does pDAI maintain its peg? Does pDAI have admin keys? It's obvious 99% don't know the theory of how pDAI works because I can't get an explanation, blah, 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 to pass the pre-program points. And then he put up this really funny meme of a blueberry waffle when you're buying PRC20 token copies. So I think it was pretty funny. But essentially, he did a really great Twitter space. He was asking questions. Unfortunately, I was not able to go there because I had other time commitments to other things. But we're going to do a live stream over at Vibra Finance to talk about this. Now, why am I bringing up Rags to Riches? Now, one of two things. One, Rags to Riches, he's big with the Pulsechain Hex community. When this started, I'm basically a small YouTuber. He's the class above me in this ecosystem. The big names are starting to see pDAI and the Pegening Theory. They're asking questions, they're wondering what's going on, and they're seeing the anomalies in this market. And because now Rag's getting in, there's a good chance that we're starting to see the pDAI Pegening starting to explode across the entire ecosystem. So people are starting to get attention. Now the question is, if Richard Hart is behind this token, was he playing 60 chess and doing this little mysterious transactions so that it spreads across the community and we get a community behind pDAI? Or is it something else? We don't know. But the one thing that Rags was doing was he was hyping people up, and then he was bringing in people into the Twitter space, and he was asking questions to figure out what's going on. And I think the questions he was asking were extremely valid. Now, the one thing I want to say is, towards the end there, he made a claim about, we're like, I think it was Coach X. He was saying, like, if this pDAI thing were to be malicious, why didn't Richard say anything? And Rags responded saying that he's in an SEC lawsuit, which makes sense. I get it. But also, I also want to point out there, because he's in an SEC lawsuit, if something happens to the Pulsechain that is malicious, it's going to make the case worse for him. It's going to get more eyes on it. The mainstream media is going to come after him, and it's going to cause a huge turmoil in the mainstream media, and it's basically going to flood the entire Pulsechain blockchain all across together. That is what's so interesting about the pDAI Pegening Theory, because we're in this weird scenario where we don't know what's going on, a lot of speculation, and there's a good chance that if this doesn't turn out to be what it is, it could go down. But overall, based on the facts I see, I think this is going to be positive going into the future, just my opinion. So cool. All right, let's get some more. Let's see if we got any more questions going in. I need to wrap this up because we're getting across an hour. So, new dip catcher tweet about Atropa again. Dip catcher Richard Hart. Oh, let's freaking go. Are you serious? No, I gotta see it. I gotta see it. No way. I'm watching this. Wow. What's this? Well, wait. Let me see this. Uh-oh. So, well, here's some deep alpha. Atropa is mixed with opium to help the witches fly to gatherings with other witches or to experience. I don't know how to say that. It was also used in magical ceremonies by ancient Ukrainian women to increase their beauty. RH involvement and confirmed? I don't think that's right, dude. I think he's trolling you guys. Yeah, no. That's the last time I'm going to sit here and say I believe that. So yeah, no, definitely not. That was definitely a lie. Who said that? There's no way. Hold on. Let me bring this back up. Let's go back to primary. There's no way. Yeah. He was trolling, dude. Vibro, which part? If Atropa is Mexican cartel, you sneaky dog at him. Okay, whatever. All right, so you guys were trolling me. Whatever. Okay, I'll give you guys that. That was funny. So now moving on. So going on to the next thing, we need to talk about the privacy bridge and what's going on with BlockBin. So BlockBin is a private payment center, and essentially what they're trying to do is create a debit card that can access to the blockchain, and you can use that as a payment processor with the pDAI token. And so essentially the idea is you connect this prepaid credit card straight to the blockchain, and then this is where the connection's coming in to what's going on with Pulsechain. And so if we come over here to the BlockBin website, it's really cool. It talks about the prepaid crypto card. We talked about the cross-chain services. There's a connection between this cross-chain bridge and what's going on to the Pulsechain right now. And so ultimately, some people believe that this figure right here has a connection to what's going on with Pulsechain and also the Pulsechain image. I'm not sure if I really believe it, but ultimately I do see the connection. And it's really interesting. And so on top of that, with BlockBin, they're also working with this other project called Beetroot Privacy Hub. And so Beetroot has this privacy bridge. They have an anon exchange. And what is speculated is the connections coming through either Beetroot or this privacy hub or BlockBin. Actually, no, it's the same bridge. Never mind. But they're basically using the same connection to the bridge to get over to the Pulsechain. And so the big speculation is BlockBin BBL token going to be a play in the next bull market? Now, I'm over here at the BBL token, and right now it actually hit a bottom. And we're actually starting to see more and more people jump in as this conspiracy theory starts to take in and basically settle within the Pulsechain ecosystem. Now, in my opinion, with the BBL token, there's a good chance that if this comes out to be true, this thing's going to go to the absolute freaking moon, baby. So ultimately, the connection is really interesting, and check out the BBL token. So cool. Now, going on to other stuff in the ecosystem. Ever since we started to see the pDAI token go up, we're also starting to see Wrap Bitcoin go up as well. This thing absolutely exploded. It got up to about $86, and now it's sitting at about $70. Very interesting. And if you look at the price appreciation behind it, it's getting up to about 2x, and now it's sitting at about 1.5x. The other one, Zen Classic. For some reason, Atropa is getting paired up with Zen Classic, and this is the Pulsechain copy. It's not PZen. This is going up as well, and it's causing this token to appreciate as well. Some people believe that the Atropa pairing is using it to arbitrage between pools to earn fees to buy up more pDAI token to essentially be burnt. That is the idea. And then last one, USDC. USDC follows the peg of DAI, same with USDT, and that's part of the reason why we're starting to see, the price of all these stable coins go up. So ultimately, what we're starting to see is with this Atropa ecosystem and all these down tokens, it's being used to support the price of pDAI and to bring it up. Now, I want to get into like my final analysis behind all this, and I just want to break down what I think is going on and my honest thoughts. Now, to look at what's going on with pDAI, this is the most interesting murder mystery ever. I never had so much fun in cryptocurrency. You know, the Hex Maxis, the Pulsechain Maxis, they're all crying on Twitter, and then the pDAI community is going strong and DJing on. It's actually pretty funny. But what's happening right now is not any traditional software technology. Something like this has never happened before. We're starting to see DAI peg. It just hit 1/10 of a penny and went up to 2/10 of a penny. And I showed you the charts. I showed you the appreciation. It went up like above 100x already in a bear market, which is just mind blowing. And so to sit here and ignore this and say it's a scam, well, pDAI being paired up with Atropa is being burnt off the market. Somebody is intentionally burning Atropa using their money. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, the cause of concern behind the pDAI pegging theory, there has to be a lot of steps after this. There has to be collateral added to the pDAI token. There also has to be liquidity pairs added to PulseX so that it can stabilize the pDAI token and it can remain at peg. As to how it's going to remain at peg, that's still the question. Will it have something to do with down Atropa and the TSFI token? Because if you look at those projects, they have bots constantly selling off, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, and essentially it's maintaining this peg. On top of that, I was talking about the software factory. Is this software factory, this bot technology that's going into all of this and basically trying to use this technology to maintain the pDAI peg? That's the other question. So just getting all into it, I don't know what's going on, and I understand this is the big degen play. But my thoughts is we're going to explode past a penny. We might even hit $1. But once we get up to $1, if that were to happen, it's going to trade up and down, up and down. People are going to start taking profits, and we're going to start to see this massive velocity going up and down. It might go up to $1, come down to 50 cents. It might go to 60 cents, come down to a penny. And it's going to be constantly fluctuating all the way across. As to these next steps, whether they're going to be implemented or coming in with the collateral, we're not really sure. We don't have any evidence. And until Richard Hart comes out and says something about this project, or we get any further clarification behind it, all this is 100% speculation. But for all you guys that were hating on pDAI, you can't sit here and tell me that this didn't happen, that this did not blow your mind, and is one of the craziest things you have ever seen your entire life, because it is truly special. And if this speculation pays off, it could be extremely rewarding. If it doesn't, then in my opinion, this could be detrimental to the Pulsechain ecosystem, and this could possibly cause a lot of harm to Pulsechain. So it's like this 50-50 thing. And part of the reason why I'm kind of for the pDAI pegging theory is based on the fact that Richard Hart hasn't responded. That is my main thing that I'm getting across, and I still have yet to have a really great response behind that. So yeah, guys. So overall, we just hit an hour. Let me see if we get any questions. Cool. What is the BlockBin contract address? I'll drop it later in the chat. pDAI pegging coming in. I agree. So when are you thinking it'll go to $1? So here's the thing about the pegging. So basically it's going up, and based on the past couple of days, it was like less than 0.0001 or something, and then we just got to 1/10 of a penny. As to how it's going to hit $1, it could hit so let's talk about a penny. For a penny, it could very well hit a penny in anywhere between the next 4 to 5 days to the next 2 weeks. It just went up. Some of it's going to have to sell off, and then it has to go back up. As for a dollar, this could be anywhere from, I would say, 3 weeks to 3 months is what I'm thinking and what I talked about. And Rich May says he thinks he's going to be in 55 days, so I'm not really sure. Atropa Belladonna is real. I have no idea what that is, Adam. Is that the Wikipedia thing? So Atropa Belladonna is real. Pull up that tweet again. Okay. I'm going to pull up this tweet right now, Adam. Okay. So let me pull up this tweet again. Atropa Belladonna is real. So, okay. All right. So I got the tweet up. All right, so wow, here's some deep alpha. Atropa mixed with opium to help witches fly, gathering witches, yada yada yada. Richard Heart involvement confirmed. Yeah, so and then he says Atropa is a poisonous plant. Yeah, no, dude, I don't think this is alpha, man. He's just trolling. He's 100% trolling, dude. So regardless, so let's keep it moving. All right, cool, guys. Well, outside of that, nothing much I have to say. You know, the pDAI Pegening Theory, it will still continue. One of the biggest murder mysteries ever. Overall, you know, the pDAI community is really, really strong. I think it's going to go up over, and for the most part, I see this Atropa wallet being benevolent. We have yet to see any malicious intent behind it. And ultimately, it'll be really great to see how this murder mystery plays out. And my favorite part about it is all the Richard Heart, Pulsechain Hex Maxis are screaming about it. The pDAI Maxi and the pDAI community is going strong. So before I wrap this video up, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn bell notifications so I keep you guys up to date with the latest, greatest news and information within the space. My name's Khaos Kris. I love every single one of you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.